Hi everyone, this is Ravelyn M. Whistler, owner, designer, and creator of Handmade with Love. In this video, I would like to show you how to make these beautiful metal flowers made out of pizza pan. So, we're gonna get started. You will need a pizza pan. Take out the stickers, and then you will need a cutter. First is cut a slit on the side with this cutter. I have two metal cutters here. And then the second one is a titanium one. So after I cut the slit, then I cut all around the edge. I want to take off that edge first because that edge is hard to cut. And so it will be in the way if I will form my petals or my flower. So let's cut all around. Get rid of that edge before we will start the cutting of our flower. Be careful when you cut your pizza pan because it is very sharp and it could cut you really easily. And so you want to make sure you're going to wear gloves before you will work in this kind of project. So you will just cut all around until you're done. And there you have it. We're almost done in cutting around the edge. There we go. Now you want to get rid of the other ones. So this time we want to trace our template. So this template, I cut it off of a cardboard. And so we're going to trace it onto our pizza pan using a marker. There, I am done tracing. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure put on my gloves and cut my pizza pan or cut my flowers. So this is just one whole piece of flower, but this is good for decorating outside because it is thick metals compared to the cookie sheet. You don't have to layer this because it's actually hard to cut and form your flower, the flower. So be really careful again, because sometimes on the edges there are some extra piece of metal sticking out, like a tiny strip or something. Those can actually cut you if you are not careful with them. So that's why it's very important that you will wear your gloves. So you're gonna continue cutting your metal until you form your one piece of flower. We are almost done cutting our flower. And sometimes your hand get tired if you're not used to this cutting of this kind of metal. It's a little bit hard on your hand, on your wrist. So you have to be patient if you want to do this kind of project. That piece of metal sticking out, you have to be careful with that because that will really can hurt you really easily. All right, so we're done. This is one whole piece of flower. Now the next thing that we're going to do is the edges will be like sharp and there will be some metal sticking out. So we're going to hammer it down to flatten the edges and make sure that there is no metal sticking out. This time we are going to trace a circle in the center and then paint the center first. So I am using a white chalk paint for the center of this flower. I am putting 2 coats of chalk paint, white chalk paint, and then I use the blue to paint the outside. So that's how my flower would look like. So I'm using this butterfly's garden stake. You could use that, or you could just take off the butterfly and use just a stake alone. But this one right here, I got it from Menards since I don't have available already. But you can get this type of thing from Dollar Tree, and it's actually cuter because some of them have butterflies, some of them have ladybugs. So now you will also need this cookie sheet for the back. So when you glue the stake, the garden stake on the back of your flower, you want to put the cookie sheet there also to cover so that you can push down the glue. So we will need two kinds of glue in this project. We'll need the Gorilla liquid glue, and then we will also need the hot glue gun and the Gorilla glue stick, so that our cookie sheet and our stake will adhere right away to the metal flower while the liquid glue is trying to dry up. So the liquid glue is gonna take probably 24 hours for it to dry, and so that's why we are using also a hot glue for this project. That way it will adhere right away. So that's how you put your garden stake in the back. And like I said, you could also use those garden stake that you get from Dollar Tree, which I have one of those in my my yellow flower. And so okay, so now you can see that I am painting my flower here after I put that stake. The reason I put that stake first is because it's easier for me. I could use it to when I try to lift my flowers when I'm painting it. So this is how I painted my flower, and I use the blue one for this particular project. And then if you like, you could do two coatings of the paint, so it is all up to your preference. I think I really like this color also, and this would really pop out in your garden if you will put these flowers outdoor by your garden or in your yard. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting glue on the edges of my flower, just so it's not very sharp. If you will, try to pick it up or something, then the glue is on that edge, and so it will be a little safe. But actually, after you paint also the metal flower, it's actually not bad anymore because the paint covers the edges. And see, here are three of my projects that I got done.